Okay, welcome to another historical insight into Tasmanian history and monuments. It's a beautiful day. I'm just looking here at a soldier, Roy Edwin Quintal, late of the 40th Battalion AIF, killed in action between Ypres and 1970. He's only 26 years old. His wife, Alberta Louise Isabel, late wife of John Quintal, and the crossed rifles there for the battalion. And the 40th Battalion was a very famous battalion in Tasmania. In fact, the world, really. Anyway, we've found another section here that we'll have a look at. We got Louisa Barnett, 1889, and her family. And this has been reinforced, the bases, which is a good thing. We have here Emily Blanche Pender and Percy James Johnson. There is a little bit of subsidence there. It's when the coffin collapses and the ground above falls through. James William Johnson. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of history. You walk through, and yeah, you can see the history. See this. Alfred Johnson here, son of the above, died in South Africa in 1914. Now, was he a soldier? You know, he's not actually buried there. But, so many of the families in those days used to put their relatives on the memorial. There's Alfred James, the Johnsons. So there seems to be a family plot. There's Rosetta Johnson, just there. Died in 1940. This one's been maintained really quite well. The Jenkins family. They cap it off there. Moving along. Letitia. A nice name. John Heron departed this world 1888, the age of 69. A nice spot for them to be buried in, and a nice tree. I'm going to say this is the Howards. There's a detail in the stones in those days, you know. Amazing. There's some writing on the bottom here. I can't make it out. In the book there's the Book of Leicester, or Hester. That'd be Hester Howard. And these trees are so beautiful to be here. And there's George Rowett Russell, and George Harold, and George R. Russell. And Mabel. Smiths. Just come under this tree. There's William Fordham, 1887. Fordham family there, all the way through. I'm not walking on the graves. I find that quite disrespectful. Sometimes it's unavoidable. It's just the way, you know, they've been moved or something. This is Elizabeth. Adeline Jane Ward, Ada is a nickname. Nice little cross there. There's Thomas and Marianne Ward. I do these videos too because family history is important to families, and you know, some people can't get to see the graves. There's a nice stone. And there's Julia Mullen. Marsha Jones, 1881. Charlotte Keller, 1895. Quite some age to these graves. There's Pollard, Teresa and Nathaniel Pollard, 1880, and their son. Unfortunately, there's a stone that's fallen over there. It's the Mullins, 1877. And 1890. You can hear the birds and wildlife tweeting around, the birds. Francis Lear. And the Ellis, I mean, look at the carving on the top of that, it's amazing. Quite amazing. A large family there of the Ellis family. There's a little stone here next to it. I assume that's Ellis. One can make an assumption. So close to them. We've got here Glen Hill. 1830, 1878. I enjoy bringing these to people. It's hard to get around all of them. William Adelphus and Louise and Rebecca Honroth, 1878. Unusual name. Interesting if you know where that name comes from. Robert Priest, died 1876. Frank, 1886, and Marianne, 1891. There's a few on there, and there's Emily right at the bottom, died in 1830, died 19 something. Interesting. You can see there's so many stones. I won't get through all of them today. I'll just do it section by section. The Staples family. And Emma Rattle behind. Jane Rattle, Emma Goddard, 1896. A lot of Victorian graves here. The Cantwells and the Warner, 1890, 1877. This one's wearing off, weathering, sadly, so hopefully this will keep a record of it. Horace Henry Cherry, looks like it's been corrected, died 2nd of March 1900, 8 months. Oh, the poor little thing. It's sad. Quite often children would die through whatever happened. It's the Clay family. It's got a nice ironwork around it. The theory is that the iron stops the bad spirits going into the tomb area. I'm just doing this section because there's all these over here to do. But we'll just get as many as we can get. There's the Tidballs. Obviously somebody's been, and there's a cross and a hand pointing Calvary. 7-year-old there, Harry, and family. Again, its children passed away. George Axtell, Annie Cooper and George Coopers. It's Victorian, all in the 1880s. It's the Waterhouse family. I wonder if they're related to James Waterhouse, but anyway. Gange family, early 20th century Victorian. Sarah Jane, who died suddenly, 1887, in her 39th year. Oh. It's sad. Too young. Too young. Mansfield, who fell asleep March 1830 something, I think 1 or 2, and Maud Louise in her 15th year. Oh my goodness. Tragedy. It's the other thing too, you can pick up families have had so much tragedy. I think there's Henry Priest down the bottom, 1855. The cross has been obviously pushed over. That's not fallen over. (1885). Interesting type of stone. Some nice carving on it. We'll go in closer and zoom in. Like a sort of lily flower sort of thing. 1886. Nice stone. George Fuller right down the bottom. It's a Hurd family. 1887, 1877, 1892. Daniel Griffiths. Joseph and John Maisie. 1891. There's another homicide. Spencer Hurst. And William Hall, M.A. Hall, and Catherine Hall, 1926. The Coulters again. I'll just work my way through here. Sarah Lloyd, George Lloyd, and Edwin Lloyd. George Banford and Selina Hoskins Banford. Sophia Beckwith. Interesting design too on that. I'm going to work my way through here. There's a cross that's collapsed. Obviously it was carved beautifully. That's I think it's Elizabeth Kirby, 1930. Hope someone fixes that. Charles Walter. 26, loving husband to Elizabeth Standstill. Lost his wife, lost her husband. God be with you. Okay. 1910, this is George Campbell Bower, and next to them is George Henry. Here's an overview of the cemetery. It's quite large. And sadly, there's the baby cemetery, there, the children. They're all babies, really. I just feel blessed that my children lived. I hope they sort of appreciate things these days. Clarks. Laura Louisa Vince, 1930s, so 63, 4. Just so many. So many. The grave here is sunken down, so I'm going to go around unmarked. So you can tell the difference with the ground. Sometimes families didn't have the money to mark them, but hopefully it's on the records. There's subsidence here too, the ground's collapsing inside that grave. Could be because of the roots of the tree. An angel with a broken arm. Trippett's Pattis Peterson family. Yeah, so some subsidence there too. Yeah. It's so nice when you see on the bird grave here, you get these little flowers that they made. They often don't survive. They end up getting smashed by vandals or what have you. That's an interesting one. Charlie Arnau, 1921, in Chinese writing. I think it's Chinese. No, it doesn't really matter. Good people. Yeah, back to the pots. So you get these little pots of flower arrangements made. Absolutely amazing. You've got the detail they put into these. So often, this is the Helen and Louis Ethel, and Robert, Mary, Mr. Dudley. Yeah, it's so often they get destroyed. Like, this one's completely gone. Sadly, sometimes, I'm not saying all the time, but they get stolen over the years. See this, obviously one there's been smashed. There's another one. I mean, why would you come to a graveyard and steal or go there to vandalise resting places? You know, it's beyond belief, beggars belief, really. You know. And people steal the angels to their gardens. You know, I don't understand. Here's a surviving pot. If it stays surviving. The pot belongs to Balnell and John Beecham. It belongs to them. Just work my way through here. It's a lot of pine needles around. Fireman Hugh Henry Sayer, he was killed on duty at Foster Street, Newtown. He was only 36 years old. Service done, sir. Rest in peace. Wow. Pine needles cover up everything, but look what the pine tree has done to this grave. Oh my goodness. That headstone soon's going to fall over. Definitely. But yes, it's absolutely tilted. Gives you a perspective of how it's tilted. Look at that. What a big old tree. Amazing. Well, with lawnmowers buzzing and things, I will say goodbye to this section for the time being, and I'll do some more later. I hope you enjoyed this little tour. You can like and subscribe. You know, if you watch it, just press the like button. It all helps. I don't ask for any money or financial return. I'm doing this for the pure historical factor for you people to enjoy and to learn, and maybe help you with your family history. God bless the babies, little children, and I will not show them. Too much distress for families, but anyway, may they all rest in peace. Thanks all. Goodbye for now.